Hello, this is Serrano Keith Bell here from Texas Justice Review. I feel, and I know this morning I've kind of realized that everything that I'm going through for Texas Justice Review, the experiences, the knowledge of the judicial system, the beating up, the challenging the judges, the seeing how the operations happen, which judges which, how they're connected. I am within the belly of the beast. And who better would God choose to go after the beast but somebody who's been in the belly of the judicial system, watching the corruption, the manipulation, the craftiness, the judges calling one another and trying to do all of this. So I think my experience that I realized this morning was to find out the problems and to expose it and fix it. My newspaper has always done that and reported to the public. My responsibility is actually to you. So this morning I had a Zoom call with Judge Staci Williams, and I left this phone at the bank. I just picked it up. I was using an old phone. Now normally I do my Zoom calls from my computer at home. I don't know about doing it on a phone. I didn't do that. I had an old phone. I grabbed it. I tried to recharge it. And by the time I get on, it was 9:55. I was supposed to be on at 9:30. I've been trying, fighting. It was a horrible morning. Just a horrible situation. But I do believe God did that. I believed God did that because God had something planned for Staci Williams, Judge Staci Williams. She is the nexus of the truth, but now she's backpedaling from the truth. And so why did God remove this hearing today? I don't know his mind, but I know he did it. I know he intervened because I prepared this last night. A whole bunch of stuff. And ready to go, and all of a sudden all this chaos happened. And even if at 9:55 I have you till 10 o'clock, pick up the Zoom, give me my 5 minutes, but she didn't. So anyway, what happens is, and I'm going to read what I was supposed to read for her today that I prepared. I had a guy that told me, when he asked me, will you think that you'll get your house back? And I said no, and he chastised me, really chastised me. You better make sure your answer is yes when it comes to God. And so yesterday when I was talking about today's hearing with Judge Staci, he said, she's not going to give it to you. She's on their side now. You can see it. You can feel her spirit. She is against you. People like you, minorities, don't get treated properly in court. You know that. You don't have a lawyer to disrespect you. You have no rights. You have no constitutional rights by the color of your skin. And especially economic discrimination, I'm saying that. So I asked him, he said, and I had to chastise him. I said, no, I believe that God will change Judge Staci's heart, bring the truth to her mind, bring the truth to her spirit, bring justice to her state of being, and let her see what they did was wrong and illegal, and he will make her give me back my hand. And he said, no, she won't. Look at how she's acting against you now. They called her, they contacted her, and she's serving white supremacy. I said, I don't believe it. I believe God. So anyway, with that, here's what happened. A little foundation before I read what I was going to read to her this morning. So on so they had a trial, and they took $1.2 million off the table from our distribution of community property. I was not allowed to get $800,000, any of it. I was not allowed to get any of the $450,000 401k. I was not allowed to get any of the travel miles. I was not allowed to get any part of the expensive car, Range Rover. I was not allowed to get bonuses of $300,000. There was no 50-50 on that. All that went to her from a judge, a criminal judge that they put in family court to give him cases to make up his quota, not 20 quota. He hated me because I challenged him on the division, and he said from that day on, basically, he just put it, she gets everything. So family court calls for division of property, I must get it. So he put himself above the law, above family law, and gave her everything. Now all of that relates to the home. If I had getting a fair share of the division of property, I would have been able to pay her $90,000 in her equity and take the home. So in order to defraud me of the home, they took all the money away from me, so I can't use that to pay for the home, and that is the fraud. And I tried hard to explain this to Judge Staci Williams, because I didn't sue my ex in Williams Court. I sued the lawyer because she was behind all the corruption and the fraud. She executed it. And so anyway, she tried to dismiss, and Judge Staci Williams denied it. I'm supposed to have a jury trial. I was denied a jury trial, also in Williams Court. But today I wanted her to deny my motion, because yesterday I was told, let her do it, let her do it. But I believe that God is just. But anyway, here's what I'm going to read, and I want to keep this under 10 minutes. Your Honor, with respect to the issue of the before the court, it is not whether the order had expired now. It is that the violation occurred while your order was in effect. So this is the key component that I was explained to yesterday by the authorities. It doesn't matter if it was expired, that they violated it while it was in effect. And I said yes. And so they kind of gave me some directions on where to go and how to find the case law for it. So I did, and I'm going to read it for you in a second. On July 31st, 2025, this court issued a temporary order that specifically prohibited any contempt, writ, or lockout action until August 14th. So it didn't expire yet. It was in full force. During that time, the opposing party, my ex and her attorneys, scheduled and prepared the very lockout contempt action your order prohibited. Even though they waited to carry it out until after September 10th, the planning, initiation of those acts happened squarely during the period of your order's control. So during her order, they went out and they schemed and they defrauded, and they had these hearings, even though her order said you can't go to another judge and have a hearing, and they still did it. And during her order, they went and they got the constables, a motion for the constables to arrest me and take me out of the house so they can sell it. All that the order said don't do, and they do it. But what Judge Staci Williams now is saying, well, that is expired. And so she's not going to execute her own order, which is illegal. A judge must execute her order, or she could be held in contempt of her own order, but there are channels to do it in. If she's doing it maliciously, if she's doing it with prejudice and bias, then you can do something. I'm not going to tell you what the words are, because I was told yesterday to be quiet on that. But anyway, there's only two reasons that Judge Michael Snipes can override Judge Staci's order that they violated. One is the other side, not Snipes. The other side, my ex, has to appeal her order to the appellate court that her order was unjust. Number two, Judge Snipes, who's my ex's judge, has to go to the chief judge and say, take this case, bring it to me, and then he controls the case to dismiss her order. That's the only way Judge Staci's order could be dismissed or voided. She can't even void her own order unless a high court does it. Once an order is issued, it's issued. Once it's violated, you cannot undo it. Let's continue. Under Texas law, this was two laws I found, a party cannot escape contempt or by waiting for an injunction to expire and then doing what the order forbade them to do, that they did. The Supreme Court, this is the High Court, stated this clearly in reference to Shishawat 154 SW3D 114, Texas 2004, and Ex parte Wellbird 536 SW2D 542, Texas 1976. And these are two case laws that support my argument to Judge Staci. You have to execute your order. The expiration of a TO does not erase the contempt that happened while it was active. It remains enforceable, and courts remain full authority to address those corrections and violations that happened. I am not asking the court to extend or reopen the TRO. Actually, I am, but in a different way for the new violation. I'm asking the court to recognize that your July 31st order was violated while it was enforced. This was prohibited. This is about upholding the authority of this court and protecting the integrity of your own order, not relitigating an expired order. Respectfully, expirations cannot retroactively legalize a violation that occurred during the validity. The law is settled. Expirations does not excuse contempt. And she doesn't understand. Additionally, Your Honor, the opposing party anchored their entire contempt proceeding June 25th. A day when it was barred by the bankruptcy, and I did vacate, and so I was all in the right, and they still try to help me wrong and violated her order when I had no orders to violate because bankruptcy barred it. They tried to get her to dissolve her order on July 31st, and she denied it. So you said it was clarified, you clarified that, they denied it. And I just wanted her to deny this today so I can take it to the authority and show I gave Judge Williams 5 different orders and she has neglected to sign any one of them. So that's a problem in itself. So I could do a recusal, I could do my own appeal, because this is the 2 master things that I can do. But I was waiting badly this morning and I couldn't get the chance because I missed. Now I may have to do a TRO. But if she's acting up, I can pray to God to change her mind, or I can take the actions I need to take. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.